So we're still in an age where we're talking about pay parity, this less pay for the same work, which doesn't really make sense. So I organized this roundtable conference at ISH recently, in which leading experts were called in from the corporate sector, from communication sector, and even from higher education. A few deans were called in. This was all ladies closed door roundtable conference, and this was held after a white paper on why there's not enough women in the leadership positions in hospitality. The discussions we had today by these leading experts was a non-curated session in which it was not a panel discussion and people were not asked specific questions. It was left as a very free-flowing style in which the ladies spoke about experiences they've had, they spoke about challenges, and they spoke about ways in which this can be overcome.
I think it was a very timely and topical discussion because you had collected women from diverse industries to talk about gender equity. So the panel discussion was very interesting. And despite the fact that we came from different industries, we were on the same page.
I think the discussion was very informative for me also to learn about various industries. At the same time, I think it was good to share what my journey was also. What was interesting to see in this discussion was women leaders coming from various industries, various fronts of life, and having a discussion where there were so many similarities and yet so many new things to learn about.
Payal invited us for this session on gender diversity, and I'm so glad she did that because diversity and inclusion are very important topics and very key topics which everyone across the globe is talking about. But more than talking, it's also important to act upon it.
It has been wonderful. I came, expecting something serious around gender equity without fun, little dry, but it was amazingly different. Very full of insights because the way the discussion was organized in the panel, it was more of a in-depth, heartfelt sharing of women leaders, how they walked in life, both professional and personal.
Our experiences are so different, and I think that's what helps us come out of our shells of being limited to our own industry.
What I really liked was the questions in student interaction. So the way they asked about glass ceiling, they responded on, and the way they asked the questions related to gender issues.
The interaction with the students also led to a lot of thoughtful questions and insightful questions coming from people at that age in their early 20s, where they haven't actually been out in the world that much. They haven't actually had long careers or experienced those challenges that we have faced in our careers.
I find the students are pretty aware, conscious. See, they ask you all topical questions, they're interested. It's not like you're coming to a place and you're giving a lecture to a hall of kids, those who are half asleep.
I think that message about, when we're talking about gender equity, I think we need to focus a lot on that we are human beings at the end of everything. So moving away from that constricting, limiting thoughts of gender becomes very, very important, and that's very true whether it's professional or personal life.
ISH is promoting gender equities in multiple ways. So we did research on why there's not enough women in leadership positions in hospitality. And then this roundtable conference was subsequent to that. But apart from that, there's a lot of other initiatives. We encourage a lot of our students. A large portion of our students are female. A large portion of our staff are female. It's a very gender-friendly environment that we work in. So ISH's vision is to, shake up the higher education industry, and I think it's doing so in many ways.